everyone, this video is gonna be about the totally absurd case from Sweden where Mark Collett, the British nationalist, was denied entry to Sweden simply because he's pro-white. Unfortunately, this story hasn't been getting too much attention in so-called alternative media, so I thought I would try to help remedy that by covering the story here. And I found some clips from the excellent show Red Eyes, so those of you who don't know Mark already can get to hear about this absurd story from him. So yeah, let's watch the clips and then I will rant a little bit afterwards. Let's get into it.
3 hours. Pulled me back into a room and said, look, we've got a decision for you. The decision was obviously that I was going to be denied entry. But it wasn't just that I was going to be denied entry, but I was also under an EU ruling. So there was obviously some emergency EU ruling made between the time of me landing and me. Well, the actual ruling, according to the paperwork, was made at 1:56 p.m. And that EU ruling was that I would be banned from the Schengen zone and all Schengen zone countries for the next 15 years because I'm a threat to public order, public safety, and the values on which Sweden and the EU are built. The meeting I was going to be speaking at, it wasn't actually a political meeting. It's a sort of a community gathering that takes place in a village in Sweden where people choose to live because they want to be around their own. And they said, what was the ideology of the group that I was speaking at? And I said, well, it's a community group. They want to be around their own. They love their own country. They disagreed with that. They said that I was meeting people who were potentially violent, who were neo-Nazis, all of the usual stuff.
Oh my God.
Okay, just to put this in perspective, banned from the Schengen zone country for 15 years because you were coming up to encourage Swedes to live together, love each other, form communities. Am I getting this right? I mean, this is insane.
This is the Free Association, or Free Sweden Association, right? Dan Eriksson, Magnus Söderman, some of the main organizers and pulling all this together. They're in central Sweden. They have a location there where people meet. They have get-togethers and stuff like that.
So, as the lovely Lana summarized here, it is basically illegal now if you're a pro-white activist to enter Sweden. Let that sink in. This is not only absurd because it's basically a middle finger in the face of white Swedes, it's also double absurd because this is a government that is totally incompetent when it comes to fighting the bombs and grenades and grapes, beep, and all of that. But when it comes to one peaceful pro-white guy, suddenly the Swedish borders are more secure than Israel's. Give me a fucking break. And as always, the mainstream media is in total sync with the politicians, so they have been out with smear campaigns and headlines calling Mark a neo-Nazi, which today is basically just a code word for white people who don't want to go extinct. And that is why a case like this is so important to cover, because it's just another example of the EU constantly tightening the screws on its native population. And it should be a grim warning sign to even the most moderate nationalists out there, because this story really shows just how much our rulers down in Brussels truly hate us.